This video is made for adult collectors, and this intro is, while glorious, a little long, so if you want to skip it, go to this timestamp. Enjoy.
If you're gonna be a hero, be a real hero. Don't be a Hollywood hero type with all the BS and all the yelling and screaming and trying to be tough. Be strong enough to be gentle.
On my home world, we believe that the battle with darkness will continue till all are one. You fought for yours as I fought for mine, when we should have been fighting the darkness together.
As even Megatron has demonstrated on this day, every sentient being possesses the capacity for change.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
So, someone proposed the scenario of, hey, I have $115 US to spend and I want to buy a ThreeZero type product. What do I do? Well, no one's actually proposed that, but if they did, you'd want this. Yeah, that's right. It's $115 US for all of this ThreeZero, and yeah, it's cheap. So does it suck? Not entirely. Actually, it's like 97% unsuck. That sounded a lot better in my head. This is a KO of ThreeZero's DLX Prime, and saying that sentence, you would expect poor quality, and there are some instances of that, but the majority of this thing is still very well made. No, I can't. No. We're gonna take these stock feet off. Ugly ass stock feet. And give him actual nice feet. Oh, that's better. That looks so much better. I would say it's a wonder this thing is so cheap if it feels almost exactly like the official one, but then this company didn't have to spend the money on coming up with the design, which accounts for a lot of the cost, so they can negate that and bring it down to about 115 USD, which, if you think about that, 115 is a lot of money, but in the terms of ThreeZero products, it's really cheap. This Prime, I believe, retailed for over 200 and goes for about 500 now, so this is actually a pretty good deal. This was provided to me by TF Safari. They have a wide range of third-party and KO stuff, and I've dabbled in official products. They actually have SS102 on their website, albeit a little bit expensive, which, hey, TF Safari, I think it would be really sick if you guys actually started carrying more official stuff, like new or old, it doesn't matter. I just think it'd be neat. It would open you guys up to more people. Anyways, they have this guy, like I said, for $115, and they have a ton of stuff on discount still, and their shipping ain't expensive at all. And if you use code ThatToyGuySpecial, 3% off, yes, I still know, then you save like a few dollars off of every purchase, which, you know, every dollar saved helps. So check them out, linked in the description down below. Thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, and now back onto the actual toy. The furnace is very loud next to me right now. You probably can't hear it, but I can, and it's annoying me. This thing looks the part, but you can see that already. I'm sure most of you want to know how it feels being a KO. And having felt the official one from one of my friends at TFCon, this one feels almost the same. Plastics and die-cast feel near identical, and the joints are so nice and solid. mostly. The feet are a tiny bit of an issue. So he comes with the regular feet, which I think make the whole thing look kind of poo-poo in proportion wise. So he comes with the upgrade feet, and Jesus, that fixes like every proportion issue I had with this thing. Honestly, this whole KO is probably worth it for the upgrade hands and the upgrade feet, because like these feet are sublime and they really change the way that the design looks. But with the problem with the upgrade feet, the peg you use to put them into the leg is a tad bit loose. It's not going to fall out at all, but it does not take as much effort as you'd think to just pull them out. It by no means affects the stability of the toy. He still stands and moves perfectly fine. It's just annoying at times. I also wish the knee pads could bend out when he was standing straight, because they do that in the film, but I don't know why they didn't do that on the regular ThreeZero one. It doesn't do that. And my final nitpick with this toy is all the bits that like to come off, because it keeps the combining gimmick with Jetfire. Like this KO can do the Jetfire combination. And so there are parts that need to come off in order for that to happen. And sometimes they like to fall off, or they don't take too much effort to come off. They don't constantly fall off the figure, but it doesn't take much. ThreeZero toys are also known for having one or two things come off all the time, so it's not like it's anything new. The one I messed with at TFCon had bits fall off of it, and it was official. But something did fall off in the box and break slightly. So the way this is packaged in the plastic prison, the upgrade feet are sat at the bottom of the packaging with the connector peg sticking straight up, and they go into a slot in the top clamshell piece of plastic. But the peg on one of my ankles was moved because it's a joint, right? And so it was put in the package, like activated and bent forward. So the clamshell wasn't positioned properly, causing one of the chest doors to come out of its little like section, and the side mirror came out of place a bit. I've glued it back in and it's fine. I'm knocking that down to the person not packaging it properly more so than the toy being poo, because I can pull on this thing after it's glued and it's staying in place. It looks superb though. ThreeZero, because they're the ones who designed the tooling, ThreeZero did a fantastic job on the sculpting. The amount of detail on this thing is insane. It's a one-to-one spitting image of that screen model. I love looking at it. It just looks sick next to that Bumblebee movie Nemesis I have, and damn, it really makes me want to get that Jetfire. The regular one. I don't think they're ever going to KO it. He has light up eyes, but it really does look like he's seen some shit and does not want to talk about it. He also comes with two guns he can't hold properly due to him only having the articulated hands. Kind of wish he had the gun holding hands. Two swords, the feet, and then a faceplate and a regular face so you can plug in once you've disassembled the entire head, which is kind of annoying. But it looks cool. I just like the detail on the unmasked face more, so that's what I display it with. One of the coolest things ThreeZero does is back detail. When you crunch the back, it's not only satisfying, but you also get this like super nice detail revealed, exposing more stuff and not looking gappy like some other toys. Now, he is posable. So let's do the normal show poses and then I'll show you the actual posing.
I can hear the demons call when they do what they do, and now I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. I just gotta get through, I just gotta get through. Cause I feel like taking off, find a place with a view. The pain is never gonna stop if it's controlling you. I know that time can heal it all, I just gotta get through. Sometimes I feel like all is lost.
See, he can kind of sort of do the pose, the Marge Simpson pose. Anyways, the reason I haven't straightened him out yet is because I wanted to show you that when you have to straighten him out, there's a lot of little bits you have to make sure are just sort of lined up if you want to get him to looking stock straight. Like the wheels have little slits that go over the hinges so they can sit flush. These panels need to be lined up. These need to be folded down. Got the head, got to be oriented, shoulders, arms. There's a lot of moving parts on this guy, a lot of moving parts. So you just have to be a little bit careful. Even if this wasn't the KO, if this was the ThreeZero one, you'd still have to be careful with it because there are a lot of moving parts. But there you go. Now he's standing up straight. So articulation. He has a lot. A lot. I think this is the most amount of joints I've ever seen in an action, well, I've ever held in an action figure before. So, well, joints as in articulation joints, because there's no transformation joints, because there's no transformation. But to start with, the head is on a ball joint down at the base and then a ball joint at the head. So you have a segmented neck. So you can look down that far and look up that far. You can also do wiggly waggly. You can spin, you can tilt, you can do all sorts of stuff. These are on ball joints, so they can move in and out as well to accommodate posing, as well as these are on hinges. And that's more for the ab crunch, which we'll talk about in a second. Shoulders. There is a ball joint inset into the shoulders and then a swivel joint here at the base. So you have all of this range. I believe this is a ball joint. It could be a hinge joint, but you have all this range. His feet are going in. And then it can go up that far. Then you move the shoulder pad, and then you have the arm can go out about that far. I kind of wish it could go a little bit higher, but that's as far as it goes. Also, the shoulders on my copy are very stiff. There we go. Shoulder pads are on double hinges. You have this panel that opens and closes, but that's more for the combine mode because the KO does combine with Jetfire. You have bicep rotation. You have double jointed elbow that bends about that far. And then you have the wrist is on a ball joint as well as individually articulated fingers, but you all know what that's like. Now, the ab section. Excuse me, sorry. Voice is still a little shot. So let's get to do a T-pose here. He does have an upper joint and then a lower joint. So the waist rotation can go about that far either way. It might be able to go further, but I don't want to stress it because I don't want to break anything. These do move forward and rotate inward for leg and torso articulation, so that's nice. You do have side to side pivot and then backwards. And then that beautiful forward crunch, which exposes all that nice back detail, which is very cool. And I've knocked that piece off. This one's never fallen off before, that's new. Oh, and these little butt plate things are on double ball joints, so they can move out of the way. I just sort of like to keep them there. But you have that. Now the hips, they are drop down hips of sorts. So the wheels, as I said, this one's on a hinge and a ball joint, but there's a little slit in the ball joint that allows it to sit flush with the leg. But because the wheel's there, that's as far as the leg goes out. So what you do is you drop the hip down and then boom, then you can bend this out of the way, and that's as far as the leg goes out. It can go forward that far, it can go back that far. It does have thigh rotation, although this sculpting part does get in the way of going inward. You do have double jointed knees, and this does move out of the way, and then you can like fold the knee pad flat. It does have that, and then the ankles can, ankles can go down, they can go up, they can swivel right off, and then he has ankle tilt. Now these feet only ankle tilt about that far, whereas the old feet can go a little bit further, and they have a double hinge at the ankle, so the ankle can go forward a lot more, whereas these ones don't. Which is a little bit of a shame. You are giving up that little bit of articulation, but I still think this looks so much better with these new feet. Oh, and he's got a toe bend. Now, for moving parts that are essential to the articulation, you saw the shoulder pads and the chest panels. So the knee pads can move. These parts are on their own individual hinges, so they can get in and out of the way of anything, really. The feet keep spinning inwards because they're a little loose, like I said, on those pegs. Then you have these pieces right here, these little silver bits on the leg down here. These are supposed to peg in, but then they unpeg and are on a ball joint, so they can move around, so the ankle pivot doesn't get hindered. And then these are also on ball joints, so they can move as well. And then, like I said, all of the bits that need to move for combine mode can move for combine mode, so you can make the Jetfire Optimus combo out of this. And it's really making me want to get that Jetfire. So I might, who knows? But yeah, he is extremely poseable. So yes, this is amazing, and I definitely recommend it. It is $115, which is expensive-ish, but like I said, the official one goes for like, yeah, feck off. I do say get one, and the discount code link below does bring it down to like just above $100 for a ThreeZero toy. That's quite good. Yes, I wish he could hold his guns better. Yes, I wish the feet sat in the legs a bit nicer, and yes, I wish the LEDs didn't look as bad. But other than that, I just think this is fantastic. It is amazing. I have a little display on my shelf with Unique Toys Nero and Challenger fighting each other. I'm going to remove them, and I'm going to put this in their place because this is just so much better than both of those toys. It's amazing. But that's my look at the KO of ThreeZero DLX Optimus. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.